Come on in. Make sure everybody gets their seats. I want to use all these minutes I got over here. One of the things I love about this business is that you get to hear so many different stories. Everybody has a story, right? Everyone has a story. And we've heard some fabulous stories here over the last couple of days, wouldn't you say? Yeah. In every story, there's always some nuggets of wisdom that you can grab. And I hope that you've all found something so far you've connected with. So I want to just tell you my story briefly so that you can know a little bit more about me and how and why I got involved with Isagenix and so forth. First, a little bit on the personal side. I'm from Portland, Oregon. I live in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been married 23 years to my college sweetheart, Ronnie. And I'm part of the 8-kid club. I have 8 children, but there's a story behind it. We had 3 biological children, and then about 5 years ago we got a call from my sister in Tulsa, and next thing you know I'm in Tulsa at the courthouse, and the judge was like, "You're next to Ken, and the kids are going to be placed in foster homes." So I was like, "Hold up, Judge. Babe, kids, what do you want to do?" She's like, "Bring them back." So that's how we went from 3 to 8. So a little bit about the career. Yeah, so I had the privilege of playing in the NFL for 9 years, and I had a great time. I'm a little guy, as you can tell, and I quickly learned if you play scared, you run really fast. And I ran fast for 9 years, and most of you don't know, I was drafted in Cleveland, and I was sent to Dallas, and then I spent 5 years here. Yeah. Unfortunately, I finished up with the Atlanta Falcons, but I want to tell you something. I tried to stay here. Yeah. I gave Carl Peterson every opportunity to match the contract I got, but you know Carl Peterson, so. But anyway, my years here were the most memorable. We had a great time. We were winning back then, playing with Joe Montana and Marcus Allen. That was probably the highlight of my career, and I think Susan Sly was talking about Montana. One of the coolest things for me was when Joe joined the team, and I was in the huddle, the first huddle, and I'm in the huddle like this, and I'm getting to play, I'm like, "That's Joe Montana!" And I'm like, "That's Marcus Allen!" So the reality of playing with these great players was certainly a thrill, but so I finished in 1997, and then I retired, and right away, I wanted to become an entrepreneur. I wanted to own my own companies, because you might think that a lot of players make millions of dollars. There's a very small few that get to make that kind of money. So I was able to invest quickly, and I ran these companies for about 8 years. 6 years ago was when I started looking at network marketing. And I started looking at the industry because, one, I like the concept of passive income. Residual income. As players, we were placed on, video games and football cards and all that. And every year, I would get a check for $10,000 because they would use our likeness. Now, even when I retired, 97, $10,000 check. 99, $10,000 check. I was like, hey, 2000 was no check because they stopped putting me on the games. But I got the idea of passive income, so I liked the concept. But at the same time, something happened about 6 years ago, because it's like someone hit a switch, and every single injury I had from my NFL days, I started to feel every day. And I heard that network marketing companies had really good products. So it's interesting, too, because as players, we get our injury reports, the history of our career. Mine was about this thick. And I'm flipping through it, and I'm like, I don't even remember most of these injuries. With all the concussions, with all the discussions of concussions, I would say, I've never had a concussion. And then I'm flipping through this thing, and I'm like, this says I had 3 concussions. I didn't remember, so. But apparently, I could feel all the injuries. So I looked at a company, and I chose a company after looking at a lot of companies, and I worked with that company diligently. I made a lot of mistakes in the beginning. Talk about trying to reinvent the wheel. But around year 2 and 3, I figured it out, and my wife and I really got after it. We went full-time, and we built this huge organization. And I was able to leave corporate America. I sold all my companies and all that. Great timing because the economy was killing my businesses. But a little over 4 months ago, or 3 months ago, I decided to leave that company. And I left it for a couple of reasons. And one is that, we wanted something different. We were looking for something different. And, we felt that we loved that company, but we felt that it wasn't going to allow us to get to where we needed to get to. It wasn't going to allow us to help the team members we were working with. Because we could have just sat there and collected a check, but this is about helping other people achieve their goals, right? And we felt that that wasn't the right vehicle. So I wrote a letter of resignation and just resigned. And it kind of shocked everybody because I wasn't in another company and I walked away from my check. It was a calculated decision, but I took 2 weeks off and I really started to look at the industry because I thought that was going to be my first and last company. So I said, this next choice, I got to get it right. And so I looked at 50 different network marketing companies.
Wow.
I literally went to Wikipedia. MLMs. I started checking off companies and doing all that, and then I narrowed it down to 20, and then I narrowed it down to 10, and then I narrowed it down to 3. And obviously, I selected Isagenix. I want to share a couple things with you. Right away, I got on the product because I wanted to make sure I was a part of a good health and wellness company because I'm into living a healthy lifestyle. And sharing that message was important to me. So right away, when I signed up, I got on the 30-day system. I wanted to see once again, can you really lose weight? Now, you look at me right now, when I played, I was about 157 to 162. I was very light. But when I retired, I got up to about 188. A lot of guys, we gained the weight and all that. So for the last, so many years, I've bounced between 175 to 188. And I'm 5'10". That extra weight puts a lot of pressure on my back, and I've had a couple of knee surgeries too. So when I started the program, I was at 176. So I looked at the program, and I'm like, shakes, okay, I can do that cleansing. What are we cleansing here? And I was like, cleansing? Okay, but I got to do it. Because for me, and I don't know about you, if I'm going to represent a product, I want freeness of speech. I want to be able to tell you, I know exactly what the 30-day system is like, and the cleansing and all that. So my wife and I, we did it diligently and all that. By the end of 30 days, I had dropped 15 pounds, and I got to about 161. It's like getting rid of a bowling ball. Running around with a 15-pound bowling ball, but my body felt great, but I was so impressed with the products and how it made me feel. And since then, I've been on the maintenance program where these products are part of my everyday life. The other day, I was on the scale, and I got on the scale, and I was like, oh, and I was like, and the wife was like, what? Oh, nothing. Well, my weight was 159. And she told me I couldn't lose any more weight. So I couldn't tell her I was 159. I plan on gaining about 5 pounds of muscle, so that's the plan now. So right away I became engaged and just dove right into this product, and I loved it. And at the same time, because I've done network marketing before, I went to work and started building like crazy. And some people have asked me, what have I been doing? I said, I've been working non-stop. We talked about the why. The why is the children. My other why is when I made the decision to walk away from my check, my wife had to go back to work. And I didn't want that to happen. I wanted her with me doing this. So that's the other why. She's like, okay, when are you going to get that business built so I can get out there with you? So that's the motivating factor too. The thing I wanted to share with all of you is that how I made this decision, because I talked about, I had 11 bullet points that I used to compare the different companies out there. Because I knew what I wanted. I was in one company for 6 years diligently. If I got a second chance, I knew exactly what I wanted. So when I looked at all these companies, I compared them against these 11 bullet points. And I'm going to tell you what those were. First thing I looked at was the company older than 10 years? I did not want to deal with the startup. Been there, done that. There's a lot of issues, a lot of challenges, and you got to wait for them to figure things out. And you lose a lot of good people during that time. I didn't want a startup, so I figured 10 years or more. I didn't want a 30-year-old company or 40. I wanted one that was young enough to where you still had plenty of time to grow with the company, but they had all their stuff in place. Owners, solid owners who have done network marketing. There's a lot of owners out there that have no idea what it's like to be a distributor. to take a no, to deal with rejection, to be up late at night, trying to train people and all that, and finding out the Cougars had that background in this industry was very important. And the other thing is when they told me that they had Eric build a network marketing business, that was so important. Because that doesn't usually happen. What they usually do is, Junior, here you go, you're the CEO. And they don't know anything about building a business, so that was real important. The products, all right, health and wellness, clean, natural, great product line, diversified product line, because if you don't like vanilla, I got berry. You don't like berry, I got chocolate. You don't like shakes, I got this. So I wanted the variety. System. Do they have a system that duplicates? You plus 2, them plus 2 is simply brilliant. Because all you do is you plug right into that system, and that's real important. Compensation plan, is it a fair compensation plan? Do you make good money up front, giving you time to build the business, because it takes time? PIVs, fantastic. Now, let me tell you something else. The fact that they have 98 millionaires, now, I don't know how some of you guys feel when you hear that, because that can be a little intimidating, 98. But you know what that tells me? There's a lot of people underneath those millionaires that are doing very, very well. It tells you the compensation plan truly is fair. The company I was in before, they're 8 years old, and there's about 11 millionaires. I was one of them, so I know. You know, when you see 98, the company's 12 years old, that tells you a lot about the compensation plan. Do they have the marketing tools? So I can once again plug right into this system. Isagenix, fantastic. Let's see. How about international? How are they doing internationally? Do they really open up these markets, or do they pretend to be in these markets? These guys do it right, totally. Are they social media? They have social media presence, very important. What's the leadership and the support team like that I'm going to work with them within this company? They have that. What is the culture like? Is this a group of people or culture I want to be around? Absolutely. You guys all walk the walk and talk. Yeah, you walk the walk and talk the talk, and that's very important. And then also, what's the future like for the company? What are the future plans? You know, and these were some of the bullet points that I had. Also, there was another one too. I can't remember. Anyway, the point is that when I looked at all these companies, there are companies you've heard of that are doing great, they're flying, they're taking off. They couldn't even get past bullet point number 1 with me. They couldn't even get past number 2 because I knew exactly what I wanted. So I'm sharing this with all of you because the veterans, you guys get this. But the ones that are kind of like, haven't really dove into this thing, you need to understand the opportunity you have. You really need to understand it. I've been out there. And when you look at this company, top to bottom, as I said, it's the real deal. And they have the full package. I'm serious. So think about it like this. When you're on a freeway, and some of the other, bitches out there, you're on a freeway, and your job is you want to drive down I-70 or I-5 or I-whatever. You're trying to get down from point A to point B. You come in a company, here's your goal, you're trying to get there. And a lot of times there's these little obstacles on the freeway. There's these barriers or something's in the way, and it really affects your ability to ultimately hit the goal. With Isagenix, that freeway express is clear. It's clear. There is nothing in the way that should be stopping you from achieving whatever you want. Get on it and go. And as my former coach Marty Schottenheimer used to say, if it's important to you, you'll find a way to get it done.